Hello and welcome to this webinar. My name is Shilogno and I'll be your host for this presentation. So we're going to speak about successful B2B e-commerce for wholesalers and distributors today. So INSYNC, as you know, is there in the industry for its iPaaS, APPSeCONNECT in the market for quite a long time. And we have also helped a lot of business in the B2B model adopt e-commerce over the years. So although we are very popular in the market as an integration provider, but we have immense expertise and experience working in the B2B space for more than a decade. And our mission statement has been to help distributors, wholesalers, brand and manufacturers run their business more efficiently. So as we all know that the changes that happened last year were really very different. So the pandemic has brought upon a lot of changes in the industry. Going digital has now become twice as more important than what it was in the pre-pandemic world. 70 to 80% of B2B decision makers are now preferring digital interactions than in-person interactions. And as many industry leaders are now saying, that pandemic has probably accelerated digital medium adoption by 4 to 5 years. So let's look at how customer journeys are in the B2B space. I'm not going to deep dive into a lot of details. I'm just going to give you an overview of how customer journeys are in a digital B2B space. When you are an organization who had been running business in an offline model and you adopt e-commerce for the first time, your customers could be the existing ones who are already associated with you and had been buying from you offline through your sales representatives or your customer support executives. But they could also be new visitors landing on your website when you launch one from a Google search or being referred by someone. And depending on the nature of your industry practices and the kind of product that you offer, you might wish to have an account approval cycle for new customers. You might need to validate their background, but keeping it automated as much as possible is always recommended. Having online payment options are also quite important until you have a negotiated payment term or credit term in place. So for existing associations, of course, you'd have payment terms and contract pricing, but for newer customers coming in, you would really have to have like an online payment option first, and then gradually as they move forward and they get into a relationship with you, you have the contract price in place. So the customer journey can be divided into 4 separate parts, and it starts with discovery. In B2B, often finding the right product becomes a complex process for customers. You need to enable your customers to search intelligently by filtering products based on the characteristics of the products, or maybe have the capability of searching a product under a particular category. Guided search to help them find the products more easily is very important. Even in product showcase page, the page which showcases the highlights, all the product details, all the images, it's very relevant to the customer. And apart from the product details and the images, even product guidelines and documentations about its usage at times can really assure the customer that they are indeed looking at the product that they were searching for. So it's a way of reassuring that you are looking at the right product that you were seeking. The next part of the customer journeys is involving the evaluation. Customers analyze the availability of the product. In certain cases, even they assess the delivery timeline based on the availability of the product in one of the warehouses of the merchant closer to the customer's location of operation. So maybe in a large scale business, warehouse wise inventory or location wise inventory is important. In case the customer is an existing customer as a one segment, there is definitely a contract in place. So he would expect a personalized experience. He'd expect that the agreed upon prices to show up when he's looking at a product. When he's evaluating the product, he wants the contract pricing to be shown. So customer specific prices have to be accurate, else the customer will end up again reaching out to the old practice of connecting with the sales rep or customer support executive. And then that would make the whole point of having a detailed foundation go in vain. The third part of the journey, ordering. Ordering experience has to be easy without any friction. Have a very simplified interface for customers to be able to order items quickly. In certain industries, owing to the nature of the product, if any validation is required, like providing a usage declaration document, the interface has to be very easy. It's very intuitive, very simple to make the user journey smooth so that they can very easily figure out where to click and which button to press to upload that document involving the product that they're buying if the industry requires one. The customer should also be allowed to, for example, upload a PO, purchase order document, or just mention a purchase order number when they're placing an order. In certain industries, if the payments are not taken online and it's all based on a credit limit, so an available credit limit also needs to be shown to the customer accurately when they're placing an order. The last part of the customer journey in B2B is involving the service. Service involves the customer journey where they have already placed the order. Showing them timely updates about the order status, the tracking information is very important. Invoices with all the details. In certain cases, as an industry, the invoices also contain the serial numbers of the products that they have purchased. So post delivery, in case of faulty items being delivered, an easy return cycle should also be supported by the platform, which again varies from industry to industry. In a lot of cases in bulk purchase, as it happens in B2B, return cycles are handled offline. But if required, the capability should also be there in the platform. So adopting e-commerce is not only about having an online presence, but having one that creates a seamless customer experience from searching all the way through even checkout. Now, depending on the nature of your business or who you are selling to, your customer expectations can be very different. So let's look at the two different types, two different models. For example, if you're in a distributorship or a wholesale model, you're selling to another business and your customers' expectations would revolve around features like contract pricing, custom catalog, specific catalogs for them, preferred payment method, etc., as I just explained in the previous slide. But if you're a brand or a manufacturer and you're into more direct to consumer model than B2B, here the customer expectations are quite different. Depending on the type of the product that you're offering, there could be a need of warranty registration or allowing the customer to claim warranty in case they want a servicing to be done to the product, like an after-sales service during the product's entire life cycle. And a direct-to-consumer model, just more like B2C, returns and exchange, if allowed, needs to be a very easy process. The interface, the e-commerce interface have to be very intuitive. And as a brand, if you're selling through your physical stores, your flagship physical stores, it happens in certain cases, as I've seen, you're a brand and manufacturer, you have also flagship physical stores through which you're selling. The customers would expect a unified experience with your brand. Okay, so loyalty points, for example, if they are getting one when they're buying from the store, they would want to redeem it online. If they're buying online, they might want to redeem it later at a later point when they're visiting one of your physical stores. So giving a unified experience to your customers is again very important. So it's all about the customer expectations and who you're selling to, if it's in a B2B model or in a direct to consumer model, in case you're a brand or manufacturer. So now let's talk about choosing the right platform for your digital foundation. And let me give you a short walkthrough about how you should think when deciding and concluding on a platform. Choosing the right platform for your digital foundation, for your e-commerce blueprint, is a crucial step. With a wrong decision, years of upcoming development, years of planning, roadmap would just all pile up and disappoint you eventually. Now, let me demystify the different approaches that are there in choosing a platform and the merits and demerits of them, just as an overview. So in today's market, there are two main types of platforms for e-commerce business owners, right? One is a fully hosted e-commerce platform. The other type is the open source self-hosted e-commerce platforms. So fully hosted platform, as in a SaaS, software as a service, is where you as a business will not be responsible for managing the infrastructure and the data, which is a good part. But the shortcoming is that will be restricted from customizing the platform to an extent. There will be a lot of restrictions. Examples are a lot of SaaS solutions in the market, the popular ones like Shopify, BigCommerce, and so on. Open source platforms, on the other hand, are not restricted to customizations. You can extend it, you can scale it up, change it, personalize it any way you want, but your IT team have to be capable enough and they have to be efficient at maintaining the hosting and also take care of the regular updates. So let me rephrase. So why would I recommend you a hosted e-commerce solution, or as the industry trends are going, everyone's looking forward to hosted e-commerce solutions. So with a hosted e-commerce solution, you can design, deliver exceptional detailed experience, in simpler words, without having to worrying about the infrastructure. So your resources, your team, your IT team, your resources can focus more on the day-to-day operations instead of the technicalities of the store maintenance and upgradations. Any managed hosting, any managed hosted solution provider in the market would ensure optical performance throughout 24/7 monitoring, continual, product upgrades without you having to worry, and that too also at a fixed cost. So you can kind of outsource the burden of supporting it, maintaining it, and you won't have to worry about scaling up or even upgrading, and you can completely leave it to the vendor who is providing you the hosted e-commerce. Now, what is INSYNC Commerce? INSYNC Commerce comes from the house of INSYNC Solutions, which is known for its iPaaS, APPSeCONNECT, and B2B solutions like B2B eCommerce. We're there in the industry for more than a decade now. And INSYNC Commerce is an end-to-end B2B solution which comes integrated with a host of business applications, which sets us quite apart from the other solutions in the market. And by business applications, I mean anything and everything that you as a business is probably using in terms of applications. It could be a CRM, it could be an ERP, a POS solution, a warehouse management system, a product information management system, and so on. It is INSYNC Commerce, most importantly, is based on the time-tested architecture of Magento. It's a very popular open source e-commerce platform and is known for its robust architecture. So it is based on a time-tested architecture of Magento on which your digital foundation could just not be built. It can be operated on, and it can also be grown. And it comes with the strengths of both the hosted e-commerce solutions and open source self-hosted solutions. I'll get to how it does that, and it has the strengths of both these worlds. And INSYNC Commerce will not only enable you to have an online presence, but also provide a seamless customer experience from search to all the way through checkout to your B2B customers. So as you can understand, INSYNC Commerce is more of a hosted solution, as I've been saying so far. But how does it again compare to other hosted e-commerce solutions? And what are its strengths? So first of all, INSYNC Commerce is a PaaS, not a SaaS. It's a platform as a service. On the right hand side on my screen, you can see a very small diagram that I shared, which kind of gives you an insight about how is a platform as a service a bit different than a SaaS. So in a SaaS, the entire structure, the entire stack is controlled by the vendor. In PaaS, the application and the data is managed by you, while the rest of the stack is maintained by the vendor. So you kind of get best of both the worlds. So now let's look at where we stand different and what makes us better. So with INSYNC Commerce, of course, since it's powered by Magento, the core is based on Magento. It retains the benefit of SaaS, which means simplified store maintenance. You're not going to have to worry about the hosting, upgrades, recurring maintenance. From the other side, from the open source side of solutions, we get the strength that the platform is of open source nature. So you don't stay limited to customizations, unlike the SaaS solutions, Shopify, BigCommerce, etc. You don't get restricted. Okay, so you get the maintenance done by the vendor. It's a managed solution, but at the same time, the platform is based on open source architecture, so you still can customize and personalize as much as you want. And we call this a PaaS and not a SaaS, as I keep saying. Pre-built integration with most of the leading business applications. This is a major functionality and offering from the INSYNC Commerce. You get to have pre-built integration with most of the market leading popular business applications like ERP, CRM, POS, e-procurement systems based on your business operations practices, maybe even 3PL. And even if you have even if you don't have a very popular solution, if you have a localized solution that you're using for some time, INSYNC Commerce can still connect to it. Okay, now since INSYNC Commerce is powered by Magento, you get access to the unparalleled ecosystem of extensions and themes to expedite your go-to-market time. And it's just not about when you go to the market for the first time, when you go live with your digital platform for the first time, but even in the future, moving forward, whenever you feel that some new functionality needs to be added, you need to scale up, your business needs to horizontally grow, you can always check up the extensions, modules available in the market first, and then if they don't cater to the specific requirement that you have, then you can look at customizing, custom developing it. So the entire ecosystem of third-party components available to the Magento still stays compatible with the INSYNC Commerce. Out of the box, powerful B2B features for personalized customer experience. So a lot of B2B e-commerce platforms, as they are being called, are there in the market, but all of them would not have all the features that we are going to talk about in the next slide. So out of a bunch of features, a long list of features that we have, you'd find one solution with maybe a chunk of those features, another solution with another set of features, but no other solution in the market right now kind of comes with all the set of features that we have. And INSYNC Commerce is not a solution that has been built in a day, but it has evolved and has seen hundreds and hundreds of customer scenarios, and that is how it has evolved. And a lot of features have been enhanced over the years, and that is how INSYNC Commerce has become a great B2B platform for you. Another place where we really stand out is we have support for mobile devices, and by that we are not talking about just a responsive theme. We have native mobile apps for both iOS and Android, and I'm going to talk about the advantages in a later slide. And with INSYNC Commerce, you're just not getting a hosted, managed solution, but you get from us professional services and support from a dedicated team of launch manager, customer success manager, technical experts who are just not going to help you in realizing your requirement, understanding your requirement, setting your roadmap, setting up your detailed foundation, but even after you go live, moving forward, helping you walk that extra mile, step up, and adopt industry standard practices to grow faster. So we're going to help you there as well. So let's talk about the B2B functionalities, and then I'll go to the D2C part. So these are just a glimpse of B2B functionalities that we have. The platform has got a lot more. I'm just going to highlight a few of them. So for example, order approval is a very important part in B2B. So you as a merchant, as a business owner, for example, if you have a e-commerce platform, your B2B customers are again businesses, right? So there will be multiple team members of that organization who might want to have an access to your portal for executing various kind of activities. Maybe sometimes coming to your portal to just check the price, the availability of the product, negotiate based on a quote, and so on. So when someone from that organization places an order, it might so happen that again, someone from their team with a higher authority might need to approve the order. Just to support their internal purchase workflow, an order approval cycle is also there in INSYNC Commerce. Credit limits. As I was saying previously, where I was explaining the customer journey being divided into 4 parts, credit limit is a very important functionality. In most B2B businesses, the practice of online payment is not there, at least for customers who are there associated for some time. For newer customers, yet sometimes online payment is taken, but moving forward, when contract pricing and payment terms are there in place, credits are allocated to customers and orders are being taken based on credit limit checking, credit limit balances are being shown, quotations. Although in B2B, contract pricing is there and specific prices are being offered to customers, but then again, from time to time, when they buy in a big number, in big quantities, they often want to still request for a special price, a further discounted price, where comes the requirement of a negotiation. So how can we enable a negotiation on an online self-service platform? You have to enable the functionality of a quote. So customers can request for a quote and negotiate. And then from the other side, responses can come back, back and forth, the communication can happen, and they can finalize on a cost and unit price and a quantity, and then they can move forward. User account types. As I was saying, so for a B2B customer, if there are multiple team members from their organization coming into your portal, coming onto your platform, and executing various kind of activities, they need to be segregated. Like, for example, we have 2 types of contact persons, as we like to call them. One is like a standard, a general contact person, the other is a administrative contact person. So standard contact persons can place an order on behalf of the organization, but they cannot see all the orders of the organization. They cannot see the entire order history. And they cannot also add newer contact persons, newer team members when they join their team. Whereas an administrative contact person, for example, can place an order, see the entire order history of the organization, and can also add a new team member account on the portal when someone joins their organization. Field sales. So as a standard practice, if you had been an offline business, you have had definitely sales reps, sales representatives, and customer support executives, sales guys who'd reach out to customers and were responsible for maintaining a relationship with the customer and taking orders from them in person, over phone, and any other medium. So when you go online for a time period, for some time, customers are still going to fall back on the old practice of reaching out to the sales reps. So the sales reps can still have an account on the portal representing you as a business, as a merchant, and can place an order on behalf of the customer. And then again, based on the industry vertical, if you have specific items to be shown to customers, or say different kind of price rules, having price lists to be allocated to different customers, and so on. So there are a lot of B2B functionalities packed into INSYNC Commerce. Many of you may not even need unless and until in a B2B business which requires a lot of complex functionalities. But INSYNC Commerce can cater to all your requirements, even if you have a very complex B2B process in place, currently being run offline. Now let's come to D2C, direct to consumer. So the previous slide I was talking about, if you're a business who is selling to wholesalers and distributors, right? Your wholesale and distribution model where you're selling to another business. But if you're a brand or a manufacturer, your needs for catering a customer, a direct consumer, can be different. So INSYNC Commerce can also help you enable seamless self-service functionality so that your direct customers can also by themselves register products for future warranty claims or even request a product servicing beyond warranty period or within the warranty period as well. And again, depending on the industry vertical or your business model, this could be a very essential feature. And on the same as INSYNC Commerce has been designed on the same platform, you can also have separate websites, one focusing on the B2B buyers and one focusing on the direct consumers to whom you sell. Okay, or if you want to adopt e-commerce in phases and maybe go to the B2B buyers first and then eventually launch a website and interface for the consumers, that can also be done. But all in all, the platform has got to support if you are a brand and a manufacturer and if you're directly targeting to reach out to your end consumers as well. And customers buying online would always expect a very tailored and hassle-free experience involving returns or exchange as well, if your industry vertical, your practice allow that. So INSYNC Commerce comes with a robust RMA module that can help you manage replacements or refund requests easily as well. And just like in B2B, if you're selling to consumer directly, mimicking more of a B2C model, promotions are also very important. So direct consumer focused promotional practices like buy one, get one, or seasonal discounts, or cart based conditional discounts like waiving off shipping costs or getting some items for free. Those can also be all done and managed through INSYNC Commerce. So if you're a business who had been running in a B2B model for quite some time, you'll have had definitely several applications to run smoothly. Like even if you adopt e-commerce, for example, you cannot just run your entire business with an e-commerce platform, right? So you'd have a lot of other applications in place, a back office ERP or CRM solution, a POS, or maybe even have an integration with a 3PL for your logistics and shipment and so on. But in doing so, one organization kind of becomes many organization in terms of the data going into them and the manpower which is managing those systems and applications separately. So this leads to disintegrated data, which again in turn leads to redundancy and errors, which is not good for any business. So with INSYNC Commerce, we have you covered for that as well. You won't need to worry about that and need to go to another vendor because INSYNC Commerce comes integrated with most of the popular line of business applications. And even if you have a localized solution and not a very popular, business application, and if it has got APIs and web services, INSYNC Commerce will connect with it. And it's just not, connecting with your other business applications running across separate departments in organization. If you are also looking forward to go omni-channel and have several sales channels through which you want to reach out to your customers, like in a D2C model, if you have physical stores, flagship stores, you want to give a unified experience to your customers, and you're also selling on marketplaces, and you want the item prices and inventory on the marketplaces to be controlled from your e-commerce platform, that could also be done. So a 360-degree omni-channel commerce is what, if you really desire, that could also be enabled with INSYNC Commerce. So we have kind of have you covered for any kind of integration communication required with any other sales channel, any other business application that is being run in the organization, all under one roof of INSYNC Commerce. As I keep saying this phrase, that it's just not about going digital. So you have to tap on the medium through which people are making their searches and are preferring to execute their buying, right? So a website can of course be there, right? But we can have a responsive theme as well, which has been a practice for a very long time. But enabling a channel accessible from mobile devices is an absolute necessity now, is what I would like to say, because more than 90% of searches nowadays are carried out on mobile devices. Your B2B buyers already spend more time on their smartphones than their laptops, their employees and even their loved ones. So INSYNC Commerce comes with a ready native mobile app, both available for Android and iOS, so that your customers can reach out to you through a digital interface. They can check your product catalog, the product details, and even get personalized messages like offers that you have for them, or even fulfillment updates as push notifications through the app. So INSYNC has got you covered for everything. A managed e-commerce service which has got the benefits of a SaaS, still comes with the strength of an open source platform. It has got already pre-integrated functionalities in place, can support and support you to have and like omni-channel model and give a unified experience to your customers, and also have a mobile ready interface for your customers. So now let's walk you through a couple of features of INSYNC Commerce. I'm going to take a couple of B2B functionalities and walk you through them, and the warranty management and service management functionality in case you're a direct-to-consumer model as well. And then we're going to end this presentation after taking some questions if you have any. So let me quickly open up a INSYNC Commerce demo, INSYNC Commerce website that we have kept ready, and we have a couple of themes it comes with, which can also be personalized and customized if you're really in a hurry to go to market and you really do not want design to be made from the scratch. So that could also be done. So let me first walk you through from the perspective of a contact person of a B2B customer who is on your portal currently. So I'll show the entire example with reference to one product, for example. So this is a product which is being shown at a price of $3,000 when no one is logged in. So anyone who knows your brand, lands on your website, is going to see the MRP, the RRP, or the standard markup price is $3,000. Now I'll log in as a contact person of a B2B customer, and I'll get to see the price that is there for me based on the price list that is allocated to me. So if I go to the same product, now it's 2800, because we have a price list functionality, and each price list can have a set of prices for all the products, and then this price list could just be simply allocated to a customer. So to my organization, a price is allocated which has got the price of 2800. So that's like the contract pricing firm. But then again, a lot of other pricing rules can also become applicable depending on how they are configured. So for example, if I buy this item in quantity 1, I get 2800 as a price instead of the 3000 MRP. But if I buy 4 of them, I am supposed to get a discount. and I will get it at 2500. So there is also a customer specific volume discount being configured. So if I buy in four items and more, I have this price, and it could be in multiple layers. So if I may also have an offer like if I buy 10 and more, it could be a 2300 as a price. OK, so this is from the customer's perspective, and how it really works is that so if I want to check out, I get to first see my credit limit that is there, the available credit limit that is there for me. There are a lot of shipping methods that can be configured based on the dimensions of the product volume, the product weight, to where the item is being delivered or needs to be delivered based on the shipping address, the zip code, and so on. And there could be a host of payment methods. Of course, if you are willing to take online payments, a payment gateway could also be integrated and the customer could be allowed to make an online payment. Or if you just want to simply have a purchase order number from the customer while placing the order and have the rest of the process handled offline, that could also be done. And if you want to have an order placed based on the credit limit, that could also be done. So the customer is going to place an order without having to make a payment online now, and this order total is going to be subtracted from his available credit limit. And so this this figure minus the $10,000 is what his credit limit is going to be when he tries to place an order the next time. Now let me show you another way where he can negotiate. So I'll go back to the product. I have nothing in cart, and I know for 4 items I can get a price of 2500, but maybe I want to buy 10 and I want a better price. I want to buy it at 2300, for example. I can add 10 in quantity and add it to quote because I want to request a better price. I want to negotiate because I'm going to buy 10. I go to my account and I have a place called my quotes. And this is a code that I've created in open status. And I can write a comment. Need at 2300 in 10. 10 units, and I can submit this code. Now from the back end, the admin has to approve this code and participate in the negotiation. So now from the back end, for example, I'll just quickly log in. And I would go to the code section and find the most recent code that has been created. I was placing an order or creating a code on behalf of the Stock County LLC organization. So this is the code. So I'll view this. And I get the the message from the customer. And I could say that, buy 12 and get at 2300. So I can submit this comment from the front end. If I refresh this, the customer again gets to see that message. So this communication can go back and forth. And for example, at some point of time, this I as the contact person agree, say that fine, OK, I'll agree for buying 12 and getting a unit price of 23. So then I'm gonna edit over here as 12 and make this as 23, update this and approve this. When I approve this at the front end, the user will now get an option of checking out, which means moving this code, converting this code into an order. So I'll get to see 2300 as the unit price, the quantity, and I get to click on this. And I have the entire quantity at the negotiated price added onto the cart, and then I can just simply move on through the checkout in the usual way that I just showed you. So now this is the journey of a user who had been trying to place an order. But what if a sales rep also wanted to place an order, right? So I'll just delete this and log out. So now I'll log in as a sales rep. And in my customer list, I get to see the organizations I'm associated with. So a sales rep cannot really place an order for everyone. Just like any organization, he would be assigned certain accounts for which he can place order for, right? With whom he's supposed to maintain a relationship. and maintain that customer account. So he's going to click on login, and now I get to see the members of that organization who have an account on the portal. I can now further click on one, and now I get logged in as that contact person. And now all the pricing that is going to be shown to me is going to be the ones that are set for this organization. And the order that I am going to place is also going to be placed for this organization. So I'll go back to the backend a bit and I'll show you certain things. So for the customers, a lot of information is maintained at the backend, like the credit limit. So this is the organization name. It's a B2B type customer, the credit limit, the available balance, the price list with which it's associated, the contact persons that are there. So the admin can add more contact persons for this organization, or one of the contact persons having the admin right can also do it on their own. And you can also set up discounts for particular product categories if you want. And there is also an approval cycle, as I was saying, that if there are multiple people from that organization, Talk County LLC, placing an order, one of the contact persons could be given an approval right, and you would be approving the orders, which could also be set, in a way that there could be a condition. So any order being placed could be approved by this person, or if the order values are above an X amount, then this contact person would have to place an order. And we also have a functionality where specific product categories could be shown to specific customers if the kind of products that you deal in, the industry vertical that you're in, requires you to specifically show certain customers certain specific products or product categories. That could also be done. Now let's so this was a glimpse of the B2B functionalities that we have. Now let's look at a model where if you're a brand or a manufacturer and you're directly trying to sell to consumers, and how would they really claim warranty, register for warranty and all. So I'll just log out and now log in as a B2C customer or direct consumer, for example. So I'm a B2C customer. On the left hand side, see a lot of other options that I generally see when I'm a B2B customer and I'm on this portal. So what I would like to do is first register for a warranty. So from the backend, how it appears is that so there is an option of bulk uploading the serial numbers of all the products that you have sold. Where can you see that? So here in the product serial number list, you can see all the serial numbers of the products that you have sold that could be bulk uploaded. I'm going to show the interface. So this is the model numbers. This is the SKUs and this is the serial numbers. So I'm just going to take this serial number, for example, which has not been claimed by anyone for a warranty registration. If it's active, if it's in use, the number of months of warranty a product is associated with. So for certain products, it could be a 2 years warranty or a 6 months or an 18 months, depending on the kind of product that you're selling or your standard business practices. And you can very easily import the serial numbers from here. So we have a serial import interface where you can even download a sample CSV file, list all of your serial numbers that you have sold in it, upload it, and there it goes shown over there. So from the front end, for example, I am a consumer, a direct consumer who might have bought your product from an online store, from a retailer, from a physical store, anywhere. But I have come to the OEM's website to register for warranty, right? So I'll register a new product. So I'll put in the serial number, the SKU, and a date of purchase. So let this be of 2020, some date. I have to provide an invoice number. I would also need to attach an invoice document, which could be an image, it could be a PDF, anything. So I registered the product. So now this has to go through an approval because there has to be a validation on the invoice document that has been uploaded. Anyone could also be faking that. So from the back end now, as the admin, I can go to the warranty list and I can see a request that has been made by this customer for this serial number The purchase date is this, but the warranty start date and end date has not been yet defined because I have not approved it. So I open that up and I say yes, activate the warranty. I save it. Now from the front end, I as the customer, if I go to my registered products, there I would get to see this particular serial number for which I just requested a warranty registration. So this is the purchase date. This is the warranty end date. So I'm very much well in the warranty period. So now I want to, so this is how it happened back in August 2020. 5-6 months have gone past and now I have some issue with the product and I want to request a service. So I go to check warranty. When I come to this website, I see the product categories out here. I select one based on that product type. I can see, like, I'll see an image over here which is going to show me where would I find the serial number in the product, and if I don't recall. So I put the serial number, the SKU, I check for warranty, and the website tells me that it is under warranty. Would you like to submit a request? I say yes, and then I need to provide certain options describing. I need to describe what the issue is, what the problem is, or it's not functioning, it's not starting up, there's a scratch, anything. I can provide images for the product being not functioning. There are some safety questions which could be relevant to the products that you are selling. So you can customize them depending on the product that you have, and I submit a request. Now, once I submit this request, it's in a submitted status from the backend. The admin can go to the service request tab and open up the particular service request and change the status. So it's probably, for example, it has reached back to the warehouse or the service center of the merchant, your warehouse, and it's currently under servicing. So you set as that, and at the front end, when the user refreshes the page, he gets to see it's in service. But now let me show you one unique scenario where the item is out of warranty. OK, so I'm just going to quickly register a new item with a date beyond, like last year, for example. So I'm going to purchase date as 2019. OK. And so it is. So right now, if I registered this item in 2019, it's beyond the warranty period. So I just give a invoice number. I provide an invoice document. I register the product. So this kind of happening as a flashback, for example. So at that point of time, the admin has again gone back into his warranty list in 2019, and he has opened this up and he has activated the warranty. And at the front end, if I go to my registered products, I would see there is this item which expired in January 2020 because I purchased it in 19. So now what would happen if I want to service it, if I want that item to get serviced? So I'll again go into check warranty and select the product type, for example, provide the serial number, the SKU, check warranty, and it's going to tell me it's outside your warranty. Would you still like to request a servicing of the product? I would say yes. They again ask me the same questions. If what is the issue with the product, prove some supporting documents for the item not functioning as expected, the questions that are generally asked, submit a request. OK, now since this item is outside the warranty, there's going to be a cost that is going to be charged, right? So the item is probably going to get back to the service center. They're going to open it, and the technicians is going to conclude on a repair cost. So the admin goes to the service request and under this condition and opens up this item, and he gives a repair cost of $80. OK, and on hold, and he saves it. So at the front end now, if the user again opens up this service request, he can access one from my service request section. He gets to see that the evaluated service cost is of $80. If he doesn't accept, he lets it go. There's an offline communication. He gets the damaged item back. If he wants to get the item repaired, he can accept it. And fixed repair costs can also be maintained for certain items, or for every case, the admin from the backend can also provide a repair cost. So he accepts it. And the moment he accepts it, service order gets created over here for this particular item. So now there is going to be a transaction. He has to pay $80. An order is created, and from the backend, the admin can see the order and create the invoice and have the customer pay online to have the item service and pay that $80. So these are a couple of functionalities that I wanted to show you for the D2C model. And so we have a lot of customers using our integration, INSYNC Commerce specifically. There are 1,000+ organizations worldwide who have taken our services, consumed our services for creating a digital foundation for operating in the B2B model. So we have customers of various sizes and shapes, from small size to medium to enterprise segment. And then we also have a lot of popular brands working with us, like Philips, Monkey Sports, and from a lot of different industry verticals, from like pet foods to guns and ammunitions to medical devices and so on. So we have seen our solution has seen a lot of different industry verticals. So I'd like to say it's a time-tested solution. So with that, I would like to end this presentation and look at any questions if you might have. Else you can definitely reach out to us on this email ID and we can set up a call to address your queries and listen out to you and understand your requirements and give out a proposal from our side on how you can adopt e-commerce if you're in a B2B model. So let's see if you have any questions.
Yes, Shalogno, we are getting a lot of questions over here. So I'll just ask a few.
Sure.
First of all, someone is asking, can I create my own reports and save them?
Yes, definitely. So we have, since as I mentioned, INSYNC Commerce is based on Magento. So a lot of Magento's out of the box reporting capabilities are going to be there. Plus, we have further enhanced it. So you get a lot of options in terms of running reports, your average, sales, and based on demographics, zip codes, any kind of criteria based on which you want to create generate reports for your orders, for your customer registrations. A lot of kind of reports can also be generated, and you have a dashboard to get a visualization on those reports as well. Yes, it can be done. Yeah.
The next question is, can assigned sales rep be able to negotiate quote with end customer?
Yes, it's a customizable, personalizable option. So if instead of the admin, if the sales rep is going to be the person who is going to be responsible for negotiating the quote with the contact person, that can also be enabled, of course. Yeah.
Another question is, do we have the ability to further customize the INSYNC application without needing to engage your team?
Yes, of course. So it's a managed service. It's being offered as a managed service, but since it's an open source platform, if you want to outsource moving forward customization, personalization to any other agency, or even have in-house resources proficient in PHP and Magento, you can of course customize and personalize it moving forward without our help. Just the hosting and the platform is going to be managed by us. The customizations can still be done by you. It's going to be under your control, of course.
Absolutely.
That's the best part of having this as a PaaS, as a platform, as a service model, and based on open source architecture. Yeah.
Right. So we have a lot more questions over here, and we can answer them over email, right, Ragnu?
Yes, sure. We would reach out to all of them with the questions and try and set up calls if it needs to be addressed.
So yeah.
Yes, we are running out of time. All right then. So thank you for being patient and listening and hearing me out. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us on this email ID, and we'll try and set up a call and answer your questions. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, bye-bye.